Hello ladies and gentlemen, so welcome to the channel. Another Marvel star has just been cancelled off of Twitter. This individual is of course AWKWAFINA. Now stop, I know. I'm sure you're thinking, what are you talking about? I know, I thought this as well. Basically, people are irritated because of her accent. They're calling it the BLACCENT, the African American vernacular. So I thought we would dive into this because it's interesting. This is not the first time we've had a Marvel star cancelled. I mean, recently we had Brie Larson, very, very funny video. I'll leave it linked above, where I addressed another bizarre cancelling. Everyone just reeing about the most nonsensical nonsense you've probably heard in your life, and this is another one of them. So first and foremost, two things I just want to say. Firstly, please do check out my second channel. It's linked in the description box. You might like it. Secondly, a lot of people have been asking, have I got a new mic? What's going on? Why is there so much more bass? This is the same mic I've always had, and if you go back to my original videos back when I first started this channel in like 2016, you would hear my voice sounds exactly the same as this. This is my actual voice. All I've done is put the microphone where it should be, and you can hear my voice now. That's it. A lot of people were asking, you know, am I down or anything like that? I'm not. I'm perfectly normal and fine. I'm just changing the delivery somewhat. For some of these things and keeping it a little bit more, keeping the decibels in line, as it were, because there were too much peaks, basically. Previously, videos, it was quite hard to scrub through the audio and make it as good as possible, so I thought we would address that. Let's dive into this total nonsense. AWKWAFINA addresses BLACCENT. Yeah. Oh my god. And obviously, this individual, you know, was in Shang-Chi. I can't remember how they said it in the film, but yes, Shang-Chi. So AWKWAFINA is leaving Twitter for now because of the collective reeing over her accent. The actress, whose real name is Nora Loom, tweeted released a statement earlier today addressing the criticisms for her use of African American vernacular English. That's right, ladies and gents, people now own language. In that case, all those Americans that speak with a British accent, you deserve to be cancelled. That's British, all right? That's cultural appropriation, British culture. Oh, I can't say this with a straight face. Anyway, she kowtowed to the mob by actually apologising. She starts the apology by stating, there is a socio-political context to everything, especially the historical context of the African American community in this country. Yep, sure, of course there is. Inarguable fact. AWKWAFINA, who started off as a rapper and comedian, who became a household name after her performance in the critically acclaimed Crazy Rich Asians and heist film, Ocean's 8. However, some viewers of the film were perturbed by her performance, which relied heavily on African American vernacular English and said appropriation, which is tantamount to mockery. You know what, though? Maybe it is appropriation, maybe it is mockery, who cares? Grow thicker skin. What? Do you want some cotton wool to you know, wipe those tears? What is it? Who cares? Who cares if it's appropriation? Who cares if it's mockery? It's not appropriation anyway. You don't own language. You don't own the way people speak, you utter imbeciles. And if it is mockery, so what? Why? Who cares? Is it a problem? Why? Why is it a problem that you're being mocked? Well, because you're on the receiving end. You don't mind mocking anyone else, though. The amount of American shows that mock the way British people look, talk, how they move. Hoity-toity, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Terrible teeth. Monocles, tea. We don't care. I'm going to stick up my ass. I'm not crying. Who cares? Mockery's funny. Idiots. Anyway, in a response to this, writer Bettina McAlintal for Vice mentioned why AWKWAFINA's character in the film should be considered problematic. That's right, problematic. It's the new term, that is a new ism and phobia. You're problematic, you've hurt my feelings. Oh, you bloody wet wipes. As she borrowed from black culture in order to make a name for herself, the woman-born Nora Lum performed a series of racial stereotypes for coolness and clout, and through that posturing she made her way from viral internet rapper to critically acclaimed actress. Doesn't sound like mockery, does it? It actually sounds like appreciation. But wasn't there like buy black and stuff like that? You know, go and buy black people businesses, you know, from black businesses and stuff to appreciate them. Surely this is exactly the same, no? Do you literally just want money now? Is that what it is? You want payment? You want to be appreciated financially? I don't understand what the issue is. As time passed and Awkwafina shot to superstardom, many have noticed that the persona has disappeared. But also, again, just as an FYI, right? Awkwafina had a persona where she did rapping, right? She was a rapper. So African American vernacular English in rapping makes a lot of sense. It works. It's a character. So yes, when she's then in a film called Crazy Rich Asians, she's going to be more Asian. If she's in Shang-Chi, where she's Asian, more Asian than Awkwafina as a character, she's going to be more Asian, isn't she? You dim-witted morons. Just unbelievable. But anyway, but also there are still questions as to why all that was necessary in the first place. Because she was a rapper. She was rapping. You idiotas. Starring in Dustin Daniel Cretton's Shang-Chi, the actress was asked about her past behaviour while on the film's press tour. She didn't give a full answer but remained diplomatic by stating, "I'm open to the conversation. I think it really is something that I think is a little bit multifaceted and layered." I don't understand. Who cares? She needs to address her past behaviour? I don't get it. So this is the apology that she tweeted out. Right. Oof. Wow. That is very up close. Let me correct that for you. I'll just read it out. There is a socio-political context to everything, especially the historical context of the African American community in this country. It is a group that is disproportionately affected by institutionalized policies and law enforcement policies. Citation needed. All the while having historically and routinely seen their culture stolen, exploited and appropriated by the dominant culture for monetary gain without acknowledgement nor respect for where those roots come from. Half of the... Are you joking? You're talking about, respect of where those roots come from. Half the individuals in the States, that are, who we can lump in the sort of black culture, as it were, wouldn't know where they came from anyway. And what I mean by that is not, because they were slaves or anything like that. It's quite literally just because being, African American is so far removed from being African. So very far removed. They don't know their culture. Half the people don't care about their culture. You're talking about specifically, African American culture, which is uniformly American culture as well. It's... I don't know why I even have to say this, but you will have any sort of anthropologist, for instance, will say that culture is evolutionary. It bleeds and it flows. It's not just uniformly one thing, right? It flows into one another. All we're seeing is culture evolving now past, sectioned off tribalistic elements. And because we're in this weird phase where everyone's so torn up about it, it's apparently a problem. It's ridiculous. Anyway, the pioneers of its beginnings and the artists that perfected and mastered the craft. It is a problem we still see today, though some may pass it off as a convoluted mixture of the internet TikTok slang generation that liberally uses AAVE to add that hip-hop. A genre of music that is ubiquitous and beloved across the country has now anchored itself as a mainstream genre in music history and in life. Linguistic acculturation, my God, immigrant acculturation, and the inevitable passage of globalized internet slang all play a factor in the fine line between offence and pop culture. Honestly, it's nonsense. But as a non-black POC, that's right, she's non-black person of colour, because she's Asian, I stand by the fact that I will always listen and work tirelessly to understand the history and context of AAVE, what is deemed appropriate or backwards towards the progress of any and every marginalised group, but I must emphasise, to mock, belittle, or to be unkind in any way possible at the expense of others is simply not my nature. It never has, and it never was. I mean, this is, Oh, she continues. Jesus, it just goes on. My immigrant background allowed me to carve an American identity off the movies and TV shows I watched, the children I went to school with, and my undying love and respect for hip-hop. I think as a group, Asian Americans are still trying to figure out what that journey means for them, what is correct and where they don't belong, and though I'm still learning and doing that personal work, I know for sure that I want to spend the rest of my career doing nothing but uplifting our communities. We do this first by learning, acknowledging, hearing, and emphasizing, and I will continue tirelessly to do just that. I mean, look, I'm sorry, but this is just nonsense. Utter nonsense. She did not need to apologize for this crap. Oh dear. Oh dear. Towards the end of her statement, she mentions, I must emphasize, blah, 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 so I covered that. Social media didn't take kindly to her response. That's why they don't want an apology. She never apologized. These people are just fetid little trolls that live under bridges. To her response, and as a result of the backlash, Awkwafina commented she was retiring from Twitter at her therapist's instruction, but will be available on all other platforms. To clarify, I'm retiring from the ingrown toenail that is Twitter. Oh, that's funny. And I wouldn't say Awkwafina is a leftist specifically. I mean, she seems to have, a bunch of sort of left-wing rhetoric in her apology. But isn't it comical now that the left eat their own? Someone retiring from Twitter, a known leftist platform. Not retiring from anything else, even if I wanted to, and I didn't drunkenly hit someone with a shoehorn and now escaping as a fugitive. Also, I'm available on all other socials that don't tell you to kill yourself. And she says this, yeah. I mean, look, it's just disgraceful. People literally telling her to kill herself and all this stuff. I mean, look, at the end of the day, and it is a perfectly salient point to bring up, you don't own accents. You can't sit there and say, wow, that's racist because you're doing an accent, or that's appropriation. Get real, grow up. Absolute nonsense. If that's, no. I don't even know why. That's just, God. The mind boggles. First world problems, right? This is genuinely Western first world problems. We have lived now in such a long-winded time where there has been no conflict, no world wars, no strife, no conscription to the armed forces and things like that. Now people, they get too soft, right? And it is too soft to sit there and complain about someone using African-American vernacular English. That is weak sauce. That is limp dick stuff. Right? That is pathetic. Just think about that for a moment. That's your main problem. The fact that someone is using African American vernacular English. That's the problem in your life. Okay. Whilst there is modern slavery going on in Africa right now, that's your problem, right? That they're using African American vernacular English. Bit of perspective on your life should probably happen, I think. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Thank you so much. Take care.